back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here, and if you're new here, hello. My name is Ashley. I run things here at Gal, and welcome. Welcome to another day, yet another day of Vlogmas. Today I'm doing a get ready with me video, and I'm very, very excited. As I say, you know, in my empties videos, in my favorites videos, I love talking about products. I love sharing products with you guys, and that's what we're gonna be doing today. I am just not cut out for the type of get ready with me where we chit chat or I give you a life update or I tell you what's been going on this week. They just end up being too long. That's why you've never seen one, because I have attempted probably 2 or 3 times to do a video like that, and they just end up being like an hour long. So we're really just gonna focus on the products today. I'm gonna be using like a lot of ride or die products to me, and some new stuff because I placed a Sephora order recently, and so I keep looking over there at all my makeup. So we're gonna try some of those things as well. Before we get started, I will say I'm in my bathroom. I don't know if the towel bar gave it away, but I'm in my bathroom and I barely have enough space on my countertop, like in the position where I want my camera to fit the tripod. So suffice to say, I'm not using my ring light today. I always talk about the lighting in my bathroom being good, and I guess by good I just mean bright. Like, I feel like there's like decent lighting in here, but if you're looking for like creme de la creme quality with like a ring light and stuff, I just don't have the room for it. So let's just go ahead and jump in. I just showered, I did all my skincare. I have been loving putting my hair up like this. I know, I think this is like the plop method for people with curly hair. I am not doing it for that reason. This is so smart to dry your hair like this with a t-shirt. I am the type that like always has a towel on my head while I'm doing my makeup, and it's so heavy. And this is just like brilliant. Like, it's so lightweight. I feel I feel so much better with just the t-shirt on my head than like a towel. So the first thing I always do is go in with all of my primers. So we're gonna start with a face primer. This is new to me. I've used it maybe for about a week and I'm obsessed. This is by The Ordinary. Y'all know we stand The Ordinary around here. This is their high adherence silicone primer. I've been wanting to try this for a while, but I think in terms of The Ordinary, I've just been so focused on skincare that I've just never picked it up. It's $5. So it is, I mean, you want to talk about something that's, you know, not gonna break the bank, like this is it. And it's so, so good. So I kind of just like rub it all over my face and then pat it in. It's really cool because I feel like when you hear silicone, you kind of, well, at least when I hear silicone, I think like super silky between the fingertips. You kind of think like the Professional, if you've ever used the Benefit Professional. It just has that slick, silky, almost like fabric-like texture, like super, super smooth fabric. That's what I think of when I think of like a silicone primer. But this, you can definitely tell that they have put in some type of like skincare ingredient. It has like more of a skincare quality to it, where it doesn't have that super like fake, almost too good to be true feeling of silicone. Next up, we're gonna go in with the eyeshadow primer. This is the Milani one. I really like this. It's a great drugstore eyeshadow primer. I believe it's $7. I like the Elf one as well, which is even cheaper, but this one does work better. The Elf one works, but this one works better. Okay, next we're gonna do brows. I do my brows in 2 steps. I do the first step in the beginning of my makeup routine, and then I do the second step like at the end, almost the last thing that I do. So I'm gonna go in first with the Essence Make Me Brow Eyebrow Gel Mascara. This is one that has fibers in it. I love this stuff. This is in Brownie, yeah, Brownie Brows. I love this stuff. It's so, you're gonna hear me say this a lot, but it's so cheap. I mean, I definitely have things in my routine that are, you know, more expensive, maybe on the pricier side, but I love a good balance. Like I will, you know, drop, you know, 30 or 40 bucks on a foundation and then also gladly drop $2 on a brow mascara. Like that's just how I operate. I'm gonna be using my mirror right here on my medicine cabinet throughout this video, so just PSA about that. So you saw I literally just like run it through really quick. It kind of just provides a really good base, and it is like wet. I mean, it is a brow mascara, so I kind of find that when I do it like doing it in the beginning of my routine is really helpful, because then by the end, that's all dried down and then I can go over it with a pencil. So that's that. Next, we're gonna move on to eyes. So while I change up like my lid color and my crease color and maybe the shimmer that I put on top of my lid, while I tend to change that up, I never change this. This is always the base color that I go in with. This is the Neutrogena Matte Eyeshadow in Toasted Eggshell. I initially heard about this because Hannah over at Smoky Glow was raving about it. And I bought it on Amazon. Like, as you can see, it's just a single, which is perfect. And for me, it's the perfect base color. I mean, I'm very white, I'm very pale, so it's not gonna be perfect for everybody, obviously. But for me, it just provides like a really good base. I, you know, enjoy that it's matte. I feel like that's what I need when I wanna kinda lay down a base for my shadow. I've said this so many times, but I am not good at doing eyeshadow. I mean, I feel like it looks fine, but I'm definitely not like a pro. I don't really experiment. I'm just a basic B when it comes to that. I like my mauves, I like my browns. Sometimes I'll do like a very, very like neutral purple eye, or a neutral, almost like a gray or a green eye, but we're not going for like kabam kaboom. Like we're just trying to, you know, work with the neutrals. And so this makes it really easy, because sometimes I feel like when you use shadow primer and then you go in, even with a basic color, it skips or it gets hung up on that primer. And I just feel like putting this down first just provides a really good base. All right, so I'm gonna take this big fluffy brush and I'm gonna swirl it in my color switch. This isn't the actual color switch. Color switch is like a brand name, but this is the one from Ulta. It's the Beauty Smart's New Hue Shadow Switching Pan. So it basically just makes it so that you don't have to consistently be cleaning your brushes. It's a very like hard bristled sponge in here, and it kind of just wipes off all the color and gets your brush ready for whatever color you're gonna dip into. So I'm gonna use this Too Faced Natural Matte eyeshadow palette. I recently talked about this in a favorites video. I love it. It's just like, if I could make a palette, this is what I would make. It's just right up my alley. We are going to go in with this shade right here. It's called Less is More. You can see I definitely gravitate towards this little like trio right here. So we're gonna go in with this Less is More shade, which is just a really light brown, almost like a taupe color. And I just run it through the crease over and over and over and over again, just as like a very good, you know, transition shade on my eye. Next, we're gonna go in with this Anastasia Soft Glam palette. I love this thing. The quality of these shadows, I've never owned an Anastasia palette before I bought this, and I love it. I just think like, I mean, there are drugstore shadows out there that are decent, but like some of these higher end brands, there's no compare. So you can see what colors I tend to gravitate towards in this one. Got a little divot in the black there too. So I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, Dusty Rose, and I'm gonna put that all over the lid. I'm not gonna go in with my color switch with this brush, because this brush is like, I always use it for this color and nothing else. This particular look that I'm doing right now, I wouldn't even call it a look. This eyeshadow that I'm putting on my face right now is what I do when this is like my everyday look. Like this is what I do when I don't want to think about it. I don't want to look and see what different colors I want to use or anything. This is just my everyday go-to, matches with everything, easy peasy, really can't mess it up eyeshadow look. All right, next I'm gonna take this smaller tapered blending brush, run it through my little color switch, and then I'm gonna go back into the Too Faced palette and use this shade right here. This is Sexpert. It's just a really good kind of like darker brown shade without being, in my opinion, like too dark. So I'm gonna take that and just kind of very lightly put it on kind of the outer corner of my eye. Get some, I just like wiped it on my shirt just to get some of that extra shadow off. And the same on the other eye. And then lastly, I am gonna go in with a shimmer shade. Whenever I put like a shimmer on top, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But whenever I do, I always put it just on the like front part of my lid, if that makes sense. Like I don't put it all over my lid. I put it like I start in the corner and I go about halfway. And so that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna use this rose pink color. I bounce around between I love the shimmers in this palette. Like there are 3 different gold shimmers. One's a little bit more bronzy, and then you have like the lighter ones over here. And this rose pink one is really pretty as well. So I just get some on my finger because it applies much better that way. With the shimmers, there is some fallout if you tend to use a brush. So I prefer to use my finger because you get more on your lid and you don't get it all over your face, which is nice. Doing some face stuff. Don't worry, I didn't forget about mascara. I do that at the end. I'm gonna use my beauty blender today, like my legit beauty blender. I purchased this more recently, and I have an EcoTools one, I have a Real Techniques one, and I like those better. But I force myself to use this every now and then because it was expensive. It was like 20 bucks. And I prefer the cheaper ones. Okay, so the first thing that I do on my face is I go in with this Alllll Hydrating Camo Concealer, satin finish in shade Fair Warm. It's very light. It's a borderline too light to use as a concealer. You'll see later, I still do. But I like to use this on my melasma, which I have, and look at how cute that is. I have above my lip, I have a little up here, my brows, and then here. To be honest, I used to be really self-conscious, especially about the melasma above my lip, but I really don't care anymore. Like I'm really not self-conscious about it. It's more that I just feel like my foundation looks better when some of this is covered. So it's less of a like, oh, I don't want people to see this thing, and it's more of a, I'd rather my whole face look good. It's like, why put the foundation on it, you know, if it's not gonna lay right and sit right and cover most of the parts of your face. So I just kind of blend that all over. I mean, you can still see it, like it doesn't cover it completely at all, but it definitely like dulls it down, obviously brightens it, makes it not as like dark. So that's the first thing. Next, we're gonna go in with our foundation. This is the Rare Beauty foundation in 210N. I have talked about this at length on my channel. I've mentioned it in a favorites video. I have talked about it in like a grocery haul. I love this foundation so much. It took me forever to find this shade, and I still think this is maybe like a shade too dark. But it's not the end of the world because it's the closest that I have found. And if I blend it down my neck, to me, it does not look too dark. But I definitely think when I run out of this, I am gonna buy another one, and I'm gonna go one shade lighter. I love it. I love the formula. I love the applicator. I love everything about it. So it comes out like this. You get this massive doe foot applicator, and then you can see there's that little divot in the doe foot, which is really nice because that holds like all of the product. So then you can just kind of go through, use as little or as much as you want. I have found with this foundation that a little bit does go a long way. Like you don't have to use a ton of it. It is definitely not a full coverage foundation. So if you want a little bit more coverage, you'll probably want to use more of it. I love it. It's like, it is like a satin finish. It's just like the camo concealer. It is just, feels so good on your face. It doesn't cake up, it doesn't bunch up, like it just is awesome, and I love it. I'm so glad that like I bit the bullet and like went through the trouble of trying to find it. I feel like I'm looking so yellow on camera. Because it was quite the task to find at least a shade that was like workable for me. Okay, so next I'm gonna go in with my concealer. Like I said, I do feel like this is a little too light for me, but because my foundation is like a shade-ish darker than I think it needs to be, I've been using this a lot for concealing all over my face, which we'll see in a minute. But normally I like to use this Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. I use shade C4. This is a ride or die for me. I've been using it for a long time. I have gone through multiple tubes of that. Like it's so good. But for the sake of this Rare Beauty foundation that tends to be a little bit darker, I am going to use the lighter concealer today. So first things first, I just kind of put it on parts of my face that I either want to conceal even more or highlight. So I want to highlight the bridge of my nose. I want to highlight kind of my forehead area, above my brows, kind of blend that in. And then I put more concealer around my nose because that area of my face gets so red throughout the day. And so it's just kind of like reinforcement. Okay, next we're gonna do the under eyes. I don't find this concealer to be drying, but I do find that it dries quickly on your face, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't dry out my under eye, but you gotta kind of work quickly. So I do one eye at a time. You can see I just put it like right on where I have my dark circles. I pat it out with my finger just to like distribute the product, and then to get a little more like precise, closer up to like my waterline. All right, now that that's done, we're gonna go in with some powder. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent Powder. I absolutely love this stuff. I, for a hot minute there, was using the Laura Mercier powder, which I really liked, but it's so expensive. So I looked into dupes, kind of did my research, and I love the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. I actually have it, I have it in my, caddy right here. I love that stuff. So when I saw that the powder was getting rave reviews, I was like, well, I have to try it because I'm sure it's good, and it's great. I love it. So I take this, it's a precision foundation brush, but it's basically just like, I consider it to be like an angled powder brush, and kind of just dust underneath my eye, you know, nothing too crazy. I don't want it to be too cakey, just enough to kind of set that concealer. Okie dokie. And then I'm just gonna take what I still have in my lid, and I'm gonna take this huge powder brush, and I'm only gonna powder the parts of my face where I put other powder. So I do like my cheeks, my cheekbone in particular, like where I would put bronzer. And then I do top because I put bronzer there. And then around the bottom. I learned that technique from Raw Beauty Christie. She said that in a video one time, and I was like, oh, because I feel like I need powder, but I feel like when I put it all over my face, it just looks way too powdery. And so I feel like only concentrating on the parts where you're gonna put more powder, and not especially like in this part, just works wonders. Okay, so next we're gonna go in with bronzer. I've been using lately this Too Faced bronzer. I love it. It smells so good. Oh, it smells like chocolate. This is the Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer. It is matte. It's the perfect shade for me. I absolutely love it. Trust me, I have used many a good drugstore bronzer. This was kind of just like a treat. This was a splurge for me because I've been wanting to try this for years and just never bit the bullet. So first I take this kind of smaller, not smaller, it's just a little bit more like tapered. The bristles are kind of closer together, so you get a little bit more precision. So I'm gonna take this bronzer brush. I tap very lightly in here and then also tap off excess. And I just kind of go right there on my face. Right, kind of at the cheekbone. I'm not looking to really like contour or anything. I just feel like my makeup looks better when I do it like this. Then I go in with like a fluffier. So this is like a lot looser. It's definitely like a more, like you could use this for face powder. It's a bushier makeup brush. I'm gonna go in with that one and do like up top, around my forehead, and then just a little bit down at the bottom. So we're gonna go in with this Jouer blush duo today. This is the Coquette blush duo in Seduce Me and Tease Me. This is what we're looking at here. So you get this very like pinky shade, and then this is like a lighter pink. I believe one is matte, and then I think they're both matte actually. Yeah, they're both matte. If I recall, that's why I bought them. I don't like a ton of shimmer in my blushes. So I'm gonna go in with this e.l.f. complexion brush. I've had this forever, probably really need to clean it. So I tap in this darker, in this like more brighter pink shade, and then I also tap in the lighter one, kind of like coat my brush, and then tap on the side and apply it. I feel like this is one that can easily get out of hand. Like I like that this is a duo because I feel like it works perfectly to dip into the brighter one and then swirl it in this light shade. It kind of takes away the ooh of that bright pink, because if you just, well, for me, because of my skin tone, I should say, if I only use the bright pink one, it's like borderline clown makeup. But I love this so much. I got this, it was like the beginning of quarantine when Sephora had their first round of like the VIB sale. So I did get 20% off, and I just love it. Okay, we got some flush to our cheeks, nothing too crazy. Next, we're gonna go in with this highlighter that is busted, but it's my favorite, so I don't want to get rid of it. This is the Essence Pure Nude highlighter in Be My Highlight. I am not one, I don't need to be like glowing to the gods and all that jazz. I just like a little bit of glow on the high point of my cheek. So this is a tapered highlighter brush. So I'm gonna go in with this, swirl it around a bit, tap some of it off, and then just go like right on the top, kind of where my blush starts. Same on the other side. And then I go down the bridge of my nose, Cupid's bow, my chin, and then a little bit on my forehead. All right, next up, mascara. For mascara, PSA, I will be doing this a lot because I have to get really close up when I'm doing mascara. So we like to layer in this household. We layer our mascara. I've been doing that since high school, and I can't give it up. Like if I don't layer my mascara, it feels like something's wrong. Feels like my makeup routine is incomplete. So the first thing we're gonna start with is this Lancome Cils Booster XL. So this is just a primer. It's a mascara primer or lash primer. I got this, a girlfriend of mine actually sent this to me. She had just a bunch of samples, and she knows that I love products. We're both very, very similar in that way. She knows I love products, and so she's like, I'm just gonna send you a package with like all of these little samples, all of these products that I don't think I'm ever gonna use. And this is one of the things that she sent me, and I love it. I just feel like it separates my lashes. My lashes tend to clump together, and sometimes it'll literally look like I have 5 just like huge lashes because they're all like clumped. And I feel like this does a really good job of separating them before I go in with my mascara. So the first mascara I have been going in with lately is this Thrive Cosmetics Liquid Lash Extensions. I love this stuff. It is so good. This kind of took off like wildfire on social media. Like everyone was talking about it, and so I was like, fine, I'll buy it. It has a rubber applicator, and I really like that. I feel like I can get a little bit more precision. I don't have to worry about getting mascara, you know, on my brow bone, or I don't have to worry about some like big wonky weird shaped brush. This, or wand I should say, I love this mascara. It does a really good job at, I feel like, lengthening my lashes, kind of defining them. And then I go in next with the Wander Beauty one, and I feel like this provides a little bit more volume. So this is the Wander Beauty Unlashed Volume and Curl Mascara. I got this in a BoxyCharm forever ago, and then I just recently repurchased it because I love it. So this wand is definitely bushier, and you can see It is curved, which really lets you like get in there and add some va-va-voom, add some volume. It's like the best combo. I do not have like, I don't have good lashes. I don't know if that's like genetic or what, but I do not have good lashes, but I just feel like those two mascaras together is good. All right, the last step of like my mascara routine is going in with this Essence Lash Princess mascara. This is their False Lash Effect mascara, and this is the waterproof one. I love Essence. I love the whole Lash Princess line. I love the green one, like the almost like teal colored one, and the purple one is really good too if you're looking just for like a cheap good mascara. Highly recommend. I like going in with this because it's waterproof. Very frequently, not to where it's like a problem, but very frequently I have watery eyes, and it just runs like down and then kind of slides like all the way across my lash line, like as they're like tearing. And so I just, to err on the side of caution, would much rather have a waterproof mascara down there versus non-waterproof. All right, to brows, the second step of my brow routine. Now this, I don't like this brow pencil. Let's just say that right now. This is the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer Ultra Fine Tip Shaping Pencil in Brunette. You get a spoolie on one side, you get your product on the other side. This is very similar to the ColourPop one that I'm obsessed with. I went to my Ulta, they were out of the ColourPop one, which I was like repurchasing, like I had run out. And so I was just like, whatever, I needed a brow pencil. I didn't have any. So I just picked this up. It looked very similar because it's very similar. Pencil on one side, spoolie on the other. And I don't like it. Like, it gets the job done. It's not something I'm gonna throw away because I've been using it for weeks now. I'm not gonna throw it away. Like, I'm gonna use it, but I do not care for the texture and consistency of the pencil. I don't know if you can see, probably can't, but it's already starting to gunk up on kind of like the side with the very, very sharp, I say sharp, very pointed tip. As you run it through your brow, the product starts to gunk up, and then you'll get a little ball like of product on the edge of it. It's because it's so slick and so oily. I like something that's a little chalkier, that I really kind of have to work with, where this almost glides on too easily, where I feel like you can easily mess up because of that. So similarly to eyeshadow, I'm not a brow expert either, okay? I just shape them how I shape them. So remember, we ran through the Essence brow gel, then just now I ran through the spoolie, so that kind of distributed that dried down brow gel. And now I'm just kind of carving out my brow. I say carve, which sounds like I'm like an Instagram person, like doing these crazy brows. I'm not. But I just kind of like make that shape and then fill everything in. Brows are done. Last step, well, let me fill in this little patch here. I feel like sometimes when you look at a distance, you can almost see things better than when you're close up. Okay, last thing before we do setting spray and then lips, I take this very, let me get the color off of it really quick. I take this very small brush. I love this brush. I got this in a BoxyCharm too. This is the Luxie Mini Round Brush. I mean, when they say mini, they mean mini. Like, it's very small. but it's perfect for what I'm about to do. I'm gonna go in with this cleavage shade right here. This is a very similar shade to the one that I put all over my lid from the Anastasia palette. But the Too Faced shadows aren't as powdery. So I like going in with this one for under, like on my waterline, under the eye, because of that, because then I don't get all the fallout. So I kind of just swirl it in there, tap it off, and somewhat line. I shouldn't say line because it's definitely not. I'm not putting like liner on, but I'm just like kind of trying to add a little bit more definition to the bottom part of my eye. Bring kind of all of the colors together. I'm gonna use this mirror because it's just easier. All right, so setting spray and then lip. For a setting spray, I'm gonna use, this is like, oh, I love this. Can you tell, like, I really truly only use makeup that I love. I mean, minus the brow pencil, I just love everything. This is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Set and Refresh Spray. This is not new to me. You can see I've used a good amount, but it's newer. I'm pretty, for a long time, I was very ride or die with the Morphe Continuous Mist Setting Spray while trying other setting sprays along with that. And I've kind of steered away from the Morphe one, and I'm like really experimenting with other, I would say pricier, like they're not drugstore setting sprays. I just love a good setting spray. I love that it sets everything. I love that it melds everything together, makes your face not look cakey. It's just the best. So you saw me shake it, and then I just spray it all over my face. I used to have a fan in here to do this. I really need to get another one. All right, last step of makeup, because then I'm gonna do my hair and then I'll come back and we'll do like a little wrap up. But last step in terms of my face is the lip. So I always go in with chapstick. You guys know, I'm a chapstick fiend. Like I don't understand people who don't use chapstick. I have one on my nightstand, in my makeup caddy, in my makeup bag, in my car. I have them everywhere. So chapstick first, then I'm gonna go in with this ColourPop lip crayon. These are so good. I own like 3 of them. This is the one in, what is this shade? The Strand. So again, it's the ColourPop Just a Tint lip crayon in the Strand. It's just like the perfect, y'all know I love my neutrals. It's just the perfect neutral lip. It gives you color. For me, this is definitely a, like your lip but better, like your lip shade but better. Because my lips are kind of like mauve and pink, and I feel like this just makes them pop a bit more. These are so comfortable to wear. I have like a really bright pink one. I have a more like reddish kind of like holiday one. There, if you're looking for a really good lip color, or maybe you're looking for specifically a lip crayon that's not gonna break the bank, highly recommend these. And then my last step is to go in with this Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in Fussy. I'm obsessed with this. I have 2. I have the little travel one, or the mini, and then the larger one. It's the best lip gloss. I like convinced my girlfriend this past time for the Sephora sale to buy this. She's like, are you sure? Are you sure? She bought it, and then I texted her and I was like, I knew she had gotten her Sephora package, and I was like, have you used it yet? And she's like, it is amazing. It's the most moisturizing gloss, and somebody who uses chapstick all the time, like that's what I want. So I just kind of top the gloss on top of the ColourPop one, and we're good to go. So I'm going to off camera do my hair, and then I'll be back. All right, y'all, the hair is done, and obviously the makeup is done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That was really fun to film. I mean, I get to talk about these, like this type of thing in my favorites videos and my empties videos, but today I felt like we really got to go in and we were talking all about makeup, you know, not about skincare and body care and hair care and other stuff. So that was just really fun for me, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Drop me a comment down below. What do you guys like using? Have you used any of these products? Do you love them as much as I do? And stay tuned for tomorrow, because it's Vlogmas, y'all. It is Vlogmas, so you're going to get another video from me tomorrow. Make sure you have that bell on so that you're made aware every day that I upload this month. All right, friends, see you tomorrow.